Okay, it says we're live.
Live. Live.
Alive! It's alive!
Oh, I see we got Wellbot in the house. How you doing?
We got a Wellbot, and we've got R1 Tool from the 1K stream that I did the other night. And last I checked on Social Blade, it was a couple of hours ago, I had already smashed through the 2,000 mark. I think I was at about 2.25K for subscribers, which is just like mind blowing. I can't. I've definitely noticed a decline in the number of subscribers.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine. I mean, I still can't thank 3D Maker Noob enough for featuring you, me, Chris, and Jeff in his giveaway. That was really, really, really awesome of him to do that. And
that was true. And he's helped me out tremendously. I'm over 6,000 subscribers now, which completely threw my 5,000 subscriber giveaway that I was going to do completely in the toilet.
To be honest, I was thinking to myself, like, my sub count's going up pretty slow. And when he mentioned it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Thinking he's going to do it like or something like that, you know, not knowing what his scheduling is. So when the video went live and things went crazy, all of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, I have zero plans for a 1K giveaway. So I'm probably going to do this, you guys. Would you rather me do a tiny 1K giveaway, which is kind of like me giving out some stickers and maybe a machine, make it with Calvin coin or something like that? Or do you guys want me to wait till I hit like 5K and do a bigger giveaway where maybe I talk to a couple of companies, and if they're cool with it, they donate stuff? I'm trying to figure out what I want to do because my whole 1K plans just went out the window all of a sudden, which isn't a bad thing at all. I'm just trying to figure it out, if you know what I mean. So I'll do a poll probably in the next day or two. And you guys can also comment as well. I mean, what you guys think. So, you know, whole thing.
So I'm getting everything packed up here. You know, I'm getting my camera all packed up. I got the other battery charging. I got a little something else to pack up here too. You're gonna hear that in the middle of the night one night.
All of a sudden, Jimmy starts doing like those sound videos where people like boxes, and Jimmy goes with the shaver.
We're gonna give you the reverse mohawk. It's just gonna be right across the center.
Jimmy is.
Oh man. No, seriously though,
so bad.
We got to keep up some sort of the bargain, so we got to take you for a haircut. I'll go with you. I got to get one myself too.
I'm willing to take a little bit off. You know, it's getting to the point, like I said in my, I think I said in my other stream, it's been fun growing it out this long, but it's definitely hitting the point where it's actually becoming a safety hazard when I'm working around my mill. So it's probably wise if I cut a little bit off before the mill takes it off.
Especially with welding and everything else that you do. I mean, it's getting a little bit woolly, man.
Yeah. I'll admit, it was fun. It was one of those fun experiments where it's like, okay, it's hair. You cut it off and it grows. You know, I'd never grown my hair out this long ever in my life, so I wanted to see what it was like, but I'm definitely kind of like, okay, it's getting a little crazy. It's probably time to...
Probably time to.
And my mom's probably like busting up laughing watching this as she's doing the dishes downstairs going, I like Jimmy now. He seems like a cool guy because he's getting Calvin to cut his hair.
She'll be like, honey, let's go get you a haircut tomorrow.
Jimmy's like, gosh darn it, I don't get the fun anymore.
I'm like, no, but why? Why?
me? Why me?
Why?
Oh, man, so jumping up fast. We got Heather in the house. She's here. Printing. What's up, guys?
Sweet.
We got
Thank you guys for joining.
chilling.
Got Curtis in the house.
We got Curtis. We got Rover. We got Chris. Oh man!
Oh wow! Everybody's here.
My mom was asking like how many people do we usually get in the stream? And I'm like, for like 6 people. I check and it's 10. So a couple of people have already said that they're interested if I do both the 1K giveaway, which is pretty much like me throwing out stickers and a couple of little, and then a bigger one at like about 5K. That makes sense because I don't want to feel like, you know, guys, but at the same time I have to be realistic with the fact that all of a sudden out of the blue I've pretty much like more than quadrupled my subscriber count over the past few days. So I'm kind of like, what do I want to do mode, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So has anybody noticed what Calvin's got over on his side of it now? Got the super chat going on. You really need to thank. You need to really thank Joe for that, because I mean he really. Oh man, Practical got you first. Yeah, you really need to thank him for that, because I mean he really hooked you up on by getting you the 1,000 subscribers.
Oh yeah, if anybody knows his mailing address, please send that to me in a DM and a tweet. I owe the dude a care package.
Yeah, you do. I do too.
Put a little hair in
I gotta put something together for him.
Here's an idea to save on shipping costs. We just both put it together and we just bag up our own stuff individually, and there'd be like Calvin and Jimmy.
There you go. That'll work.
Because I mean, international shipping minimum's like 13 or 15 bucks, and
yeah.
If it costs us 20 bucks to ship it together, at least it's only 10 bucks between the two of us, which is more cost effective, and it's only one box, so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan.
Man, Chris hooked you up just then, man.
I know.
That's breakfast at Denny's on Saturday.
That's like paying for everybody's breakfast at Denny's and tip and probably gas money left over. Like, I got this, Jimmy. Chris paid for
it. We'll do a live stream from Denny's.
Oh gosh. Shipping to Malta is ridiculous. Yeah, and it is. It's stupidly expensive. The trick is to, depending upon what you're shipping, is to actually shop around with different shipping companies, because some of them actually have decent rates to certain international countries, but
Chris says that's for the Buzzcut Fund.
I'm not going for the Damien Oray or the 3D Maker Noob look yet.
No, I think that's what the whole idea was. I think that Joe wants you to shave your head, because he specifically said that in the video. He wanted you to hit 1,000 subscribers as a Christmas gift so that you can have super chat. But most of all, he wants you to shave your head.
No, I'm going to do the suggestion from the other streamer. Just wear a bald cap for a video and be like, hey, look, I'm bald. Jimmy comes along with the shaver and goes, nope.
Oh, did you freeze up or did I freeze up?
In other words, Heather's saying the 246.
What's that?
I don't know. It's switching back and forth. You're going back, and then you're back. Great. My internet probably hates me right now.
Hey, you're jittery on my end of it, but I can't tell if it's me or you.
You're coming in. I'm looking fine on my end. You guys in the chat tell me how it's going as well, because I'm not sure what's up, but I might need to run off set for about 5 seconds and figure something out.
I can't tell on this side if it's on my side or on your side.
Says he thinks Jimmy's internet sucks because he's really glitchy. Actually, I have the worst internet out of everybody. I'm on AT&T DSL, so I'm half a megabit a second upload and 3 megabits a second download. So it's got to be on my end.
Heather and Chris are saying that's you. Okay, so Curtis is saying that it's you.
That's what I'm thinking. Hey, it's all good. It's the best internet I can get at the moment.
I could imagine.
I got to call downstairs and find out if they're on Wi-Fi. Difficulty.
Somebody's hooked up to Wi-Fi watching you.
Hey, are you on Wi-Fi on your phone right now? Because we're really glitchy. Perfect. Thanks. Bye. Solve that one really fast. I'll fix that. Okay, thank you. Bye.
She's gonna DDoS you now purposely. You're like downloading all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, my thing is literally Hangouts is the only thing that's running right now on the internet. I can't run any right, or it goes so bad it's not even usable.
Yeah.
DSL being the only thing in my area.
Right now she's running speed tests just to mess with you.
Hey, I've got a bunch of photos I can upload to Google Drive. Yeah. People right now. Bad. We are I'm working on right now, but because it is still not ready for prime time, I can't time. If any of you guys were following me on Twitter earlier, me making up parts out of, they're actually for my drone. If you guys are familiar with those rope isolator setups, this the underside of the frame is there, and then it attaches to the under frame. So this is part of my last second get the drone hopefully ready for the trip. Fingers crossed I can get it ready enough to bring along if I can. It's staying at the house, which is not the end of the world, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that's a, you know, the other question is, we have room in the car.
Well, I'm going to empty out the trunk, so we should have enough room in the trunk to put it.
Just make sure you got the spare tire in there, a couple of cases of food. I've got AAA paid up, so we should be okay.
Yeah, I got my AAA paid up too, so I'm good for, what is it, 100-mile tow or 200-mile tow?
I got AAA premium, so if worst comes to worst, I have got up to 300 miles of towing, which is just great. Thank God I've never had to use it, but because I drive a couple of times out of the year from San Francisco to Ventura County, where my family's at, which is about 350 miles, 350, 400 miles, depending upon what route you take. If anything happens to my car, I want to know that I have enough mileage to either get the thing towed back to San Francisco or towed down to my parents' house, and I'm not going to be on the hook for anything.
Yeah. Heather wants to know if you're going to bring it. Said Jeff, she told Jeff the charged up his drone so he could fly. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'll try. The thing is, I can fly it without the underframe on it. It's just I don't have the video telepresence feedback, which is nice when you're flying to do more like cinematic flying. But you know, if I can't get that done, I can just stick on the old underframe and just fly with that. It's just I wanted to be able to shoot some aerial shots, preferably like out in the middle of nowhere or something, or if there was something worth filming from above. That was the whole bring it along to fly. But yeah, that would be fun. But I love video goggles because then I can at least see what I'm filming, and I'm not gonna be like, huh, that didn't turn out how I wanted. At least you have some understanding of what you're going to be capturing on camera, which is nice. So that's kind of the reason why I've been racing around with this last minute project, is to get that done. But I will bring the drone along.
I wished I had a drone to bring along. One of these days, I hope to get one of those Sparks or something like that.
I'll be honest, because I do a lot of modifications to my drone, like the search and rescue. I have some other ideas I've had in mind. I need something that I can very easily put things on and off of. I'm not worried about voiding any warranties or anything like that. So that's the reason why mine, they get it really fast, is what I would call more of a homebrew one. Here it is. It's one that you can easily add your own components to and whatnot, which is the only drawback is if anything goes wrong, it's your fault.
So that's only got 3 propellers to it?
Yeah, that one's a tricopter. So it has better flew in the air. It's not quad or more rotors, but its advantages because the tail rotor fourth, you get much more fluid movements with it. So some people actually prefer them for doing aerial cinematics because it acts more like an airplane than it does a drone, where it's almost kind of like turning a tank, where it's like straight turn, or it's not as, or when it goes into a turn, it's a little bit shaky. With this, it's a lot more fluid, if you will.
Right.
So my hope is there's lots of free open space out there that I can kind of let the thing rip. Because out here in San Francisco, there's nothing, and every time I take it down south, I crash it because my parachute drop mechanism has failed before I can really let the thing open in an empty field. So, you know, but it's fun. It's definitely, I'll put it this way, if you want to get into drones, having one of those little cheap ones is the way to go. Start out with like one of those $50 ones or something. Get really good at that and then graduate up to something bigger. So if you crash the little one, they're pretty indestructible, or if you do break something, it's really a cheap fix. So that's kind of my...
At the same time, though, with one of the, like a Spark, it's so gyro stabilized and computer controlled, you tell it to go to wherever and it just stays there.
True. I mean, I guess it's kind of like the difference between my Ultimaker and my Thingomatic. It's like both of them will make you prints, but one of them is a bit more hands-on than the other. But at the end of the day, you know, it's personal preference. I personally don't always trust GPS to get me back to home. But then again, I've also heard a lot of horror stories of people forgetting to reset the GPS on it, and it will literally start, when it loses signal, it'll try and go back to the old home location, which is not where you're at, and gets lost somewhere in that sad world where drones go to die.
Yeah. So Wellbot's wanting to know, what type of camera do you have on it?
What I fly with, honestly, is the GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black Edition that I shoot all my videos with. That's all I use to film on it, 1080 at 60. The low light on it is actually really good. I did a video a long time ago, if you look back, probably about 2 years in my YouTube. They were repairing the tracks inside one of the tunnels near where I'm at. So late one night, I went down there, walked down the hill with the drone. There was nobody in the park. All the workers were there. Took off and got some really good FPV footage of them working on stuff. All the workers thought it was totally cool. When I went like walking by the next night, I was like, "Hey, you're the drone guy, right?" I'm like, "Yep." Too bad I didn't have business cards. I'd been like, "Yeah, you got the video here." But it actually turned out really cool because you could see like all the equipment, and then you could see them working around, and it was really cool. But I would definitely not recommend doing night flying without a spotter. It's very difficult. And probably since the FAA rules came out, it's probably illegal at this point. But mind you, this was shot way before the FAA rules ever came out or even mentioned. So it might be illegal now, but back in the day, they couldn't say anything because there was no real rules. And I didn't fly any higher than like 30 feet at most because I didn't want to lose eyeballs on it in case I had to pull the goggles off because I had lights on it at the time. But that was cool.
Man.
Yeah, I've done some drone stuff. Some of it's never made it to air and some of it has, but if you look way back in my videos, you can probably find it in there.
So Rover says that the little cheap ones, the motors get unbalanced quickly. I can agree with that because I have a Hatson, I remember that little cheap one. I never could get the thing to you keep playing with the trim controls and all that, and then every time you go and recharge it, the trim controls would be completely shot again. And that thing was also a little nightmare to the point where it's like, if drones are like this, I don't need it.
Some of those little ones are actually way harder to control than the big ones because they're so unstable. I have a Helimax 1SQ that I bought as a scratch and dent off Tower Hobbies for like $20 because it was missing a battery or something, which I bought for $5. So I got like a $75 drone for dirt cheap, even with a spare battery. But that one's nice because the motors are literally about as far apart as my fingers are. So it's extremely stable, but that one's a more, shall we say, non-cheapo hobby drone. This one's actually designed to be stable, easy to fly. Really, really, really nice drone. I think I still actually have it buried somewhere in my closet.
You see Joe's in the chat?
I see Joe's in the chat. What's up, dude? Thanks again. You rock.
Yes, thank you so much. You really boosted my channel a lot.
What Harry Lion could not do, Joe helped out.
Are we gonna name this the Noob Effect?
I think we're gonna have to name it the Noob Effect. This is like the Oprah effect with books. We're gonna call it the Noob Effect, or we're just gonna call it the Awesome People Effect. How about that? Because when Joel gives people a shout out, they go. Yeah. When Maker gives them a shout, they go. You know.
We could definitely say when Joe did this and went.
When I give people a shout, they might go 1, 2.
Unsubscribe.
I saw a couple of people did unsubscribe for a little ways there, and then I got very butthurt, and then I noticed other people subscribed to drown them out, and I got super happy again because I am totally, it is all about the sub count that determines my mood for the day.
Hey, I see we got Joel in the house. Thank you for joining.
Man, everybody's popping in.
I mean it. Your streams are always the best.
Oh, we're up to 14 viewers now. Hey.
You're rolling now.
No kidding. I still remember, I'll never forget when we were at Maker Faire and we were talking about, yeah, it'd be really cool if we had like this stream, once a week, once a month, where we just talk about stuff. Thinking it was like not going to turn into what it is now. And now it's the end of the year and I'm looking back going, man, that was like one of the best decisions we ever made was to start our little weekly hangout.
See, what a lot of people don't know is we actually discussed doing this back at Maker Faire. When we did our interview out there. In fact, we filmed our first episode of this show there. It never saw the light of day.
we might actually, I'll see. I think I still got the footage of that. If you guys want and Jimmy's okay with it, it would be hilarious to upload the oh, thanks, Joel. That'll buy 10 PB&J sandwiches.
Thank you very much, Joel.
That is much, much appreciated. I sincerely, I'm at a loss for words right now. It was like, Jimmy's all like, oh, just wait till people start dropping money on Super Chat. You're going to be all like, not knowing what to feel like, and I'm like, that'll probably happen. And now it's happening. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's for real. It's like that weird feeling. It's like I'm still trying to get over the massive jump, and then this, and it's just like it's a whole lot at once. But it couldn't have come at a better time, and I seriously cannot thank you guys enough. Not only Joe, but also everybody who's subscribed, chilling in the chat right now. You guys are awesome.
And Joe. That's going in the bag.
I'm going to be searching Jimmy's bag on camera like, where's that stupid raise, dude?
Hey, I see Jeff's in the house. How you doing, Jeff? He's at 41,000 or 4,198 so far. Sweet.
Dude, you deserve like way more than that. I seriously, to this day, cannot believe that you have done when I say a video almost every day. I understand there were some times where maybe had to like record 2 videos in a day to space it out, but seriously, pulling off 365 videos consecutively is just nuts. I always tell people I struggle enough doing 2 videos a week, but that many videos, juggling a family and a job and everything like that, and a faux hawk, I couldn't do
it. Oh, we can make the faux hawk work. We can definitely make it work.
Here you go. Here you go. Here's the faux hawk. I will admit, I did actually debate running into the bathroom right before the stream started and throwing a bunch of gel in my hair to like pull it up into this massive faux hawk just to mess with you guys. But I'm like, nah, I don't feel like wasting gel on that.
That'd be a lot of gel too.
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it. But no, what I was going to say was, if Jimmy's okay with it, it would be funny actually to post up his Saturday's video as kind of like one of the lost episodes, if you will, kind of like, things that got shot that were good but just never made the light of day because of other things. But if you're okay with it, it'd actually be really cool to upload like the very first ever episode of the Calvin and Jimmy show that never saw the light of day, kind of like the video that I've got coming out where my dad is like running around for like 20 minutes in the garage in the backyard showing off stuff. I'm like, you know what? That's actually kind of funny. It's worth uploading just, for the sake of showing that not everything makes the light of day, but some people might actually find it funny,
Yeah, I don't mind at all. Go for it.
Because I think that would be cool to show people like, here's how it all started. Because, I mean, the whole history of it was pretty much what? We met up when was that? I think that was like, I remember we initially kind of got to know each other on Twitter.
Yeah.
Back around Christmas time last year, because I was
on your way down to LA and you were coming through Salinas.
Yep. I was riding the Amtrak bus train combo special through the night, where I got to the Transbay terminal in SF at around, I think it was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, caught an overnight bus to Santa Barbara at about 5 in the morning, I think. And then about 6:30, the Pacific Surfliner cruises in. I ride the train for about an hour and a half, and then I get dumped off in Moorpark. And the funny thing is, Moorpark's about 15 minutes from where my parents live. Well, the funny thing is, my dad underestimated the speed of the train. I called him when I was in Ventura or Camarillo area, like, yeah, I'm going by your guys' old apartment. Be there in about 20 minutes. He's like, oh, okay, totally forgets about it. I get off at the train station. I'm standing around down there like, I don't see his car. So I'm like, I'll just give him a couple of minutes. He's probably running late, cruising along. And then I'm like, wait, then like 10 minutes, he's not here. I call him up. He's like, oh, wait, you're at the train station already? I'll be there in like 10 minutes. So he literally like jumps in his car, probably drives 65 miles an hour down the freeway instead of 60, gets there. And I'm like, it's all good. It's all good. It's the morning. I had an overnight train bus. It's all good.
So Joel's saying train bus?
Technically, it was a bus train.
So you mean bus and train, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
because normally the way it works is if you take a train all the way down to get into San Francisco, you have to take a bus from Jack London Square in Oakland or Emeryville, either one of the two. Usually it's Emeryville. You get picked up and dropped off there, and then there's an Amtrak bus that takes you over to a couple of stops in San Francisco and kicks you off there or picks you up there. Well, in my case, because it was an overnight train, it was easier for me because it bought me a whole day because I got in at about 9 in the morning, I think. It made more sense for me to ride the bus through the night, not get a bunch of sleep, and then get to my parents' house so I'd have the whole day because I had finals right before. I had finals like the day that I was going to leave. Got home, packed my bags, waited till go time, went to the bus stop, caught the bus, and went. So that's pretty much how fast it was. But that's when Jimmy and I got started talking. And one of the bus stops was the Amtrak station in Salinas. And unlucky for me, I happened to be feeling really crappy on the bus ride up. I think it was motion sickness or something. Just riding the bus was not fun for like 5 or 6 hours. But we get into there and I was just like too tired. We stopped for like 5 minutes. I didn't even feel like getting off the bus and leaving like a major coin behind. Like, yeah, if you can find it, you can have it. So then Jimmy's like a couple weeks later, he's like, yeah, I'm going to be in San Francisco at the Ferry Building if you want to come on out. I'm like, boom. And literally, I'm like walking around outside the Ferry Building where they have this big old farmer's market at. And I'm cruising around there with the GoPro rig on. Like, if anybody's going to spot me, they're going to spot me with the GoPro rig on. And, you know, the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, from that point on, we just hit it off instantly. And I'm just like, okay, this is going to go somewhere. So then at Maker Faire is when we really solidified the whole Calvin and Jimmy show idea, because around that time, the tech talk that Jerry from Barnacules Nerdgasm was having and Jay from Jay's 2 Cents was doing, that was pretty much like dying out at that point. So we figured, you know what? Let's try and do our own version of that. And that kind of is how the whole thing got started. So we can kind of thank them for giving us the idea, kind of put our own spin on it, and went from there.
Yeah, we're like the stripped down, cheap version of it.
I like the family-friendly version of it. I've never watched much of it, but you know.
So Chris was saying, is the train bus like a plumbus? Yes, without the schleem though.
Okay, because now I've totally ignored chat. I'm going to look at chat for a minute. So
hey,
let's
do some reading here real quick. It looks like CES is coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh crap!
I know.
CES is in 2 weeks.
We should have waited.
Finals school wouldn't have started.
Hey, I only got enough money to do this in one shot.
Yeah. So let's see. Joel was gonna go, but then his sponsor pulled out, so he's left high and dry, which is totally not cool and totally sad. And I'm really bummed to hear that. And Daniel and Ray just jumped in the chat. What's up, dude?
Oh, wow. Daniel, how you doing, my friend?
That puts us up to 16 people. But I'll be honest, CES is one of those things that at some point in my life I would love to go and visit. But at the same time, like Joel had said in the previous stream, if you're not good with crowds, it's not the place to be. I think it's definitely one of those things where if I had like another person to help me film, I could probably pull it off. But at the same time, I don't know. Too much stuff going on gets me kind of like freaked out.
I think you're going to outgrow that. I think as time goes on, I think you're getting more accustomed to it.
I'm definitely noticing I'm getting more used to it, and I'm hoping that this trip will help me as well. Because I've noticed that like the very first time I went to Maker Faire, my gosh, I was just like walking around in a daze for 2 days going, oh my gosh, way too much stuff going on here. You know, and then the second time that I went, I kind of knew what to expect. So it was still overwhelming, but it wasn't as bad. You know, I still got kind of freaked out at times because there was just too much going on, too many people. Didn't really know of any like quiet places to chill out. You know what I mean. But now that I kind of know it and I know a lot more people there, it made it, you know, a little bit less stressful. It was still difficult for me at times with just too much going on, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I got this. I know people. I'm feeling better. You know, that sort of thing. And then there was the whole Angus scavenger hunt anyway, so that helped.
Where in the world is Angus?
That should have been like a running gag that I regret not filming, was going up to everybody at a booth and being like, "Hey Dave, have you seen Angus?" "Yeah, he was just here." Hey, build tag people. Nope, not here. Okay, never mind. Let's go to some random booth. Is Angus here? Who the heck is that? Okay, never mind.
And then we just happened to catch him just as he's coming out of that one building.
That was like the best part. Was we're literally like, we were trying to find the media room or something that we couldn't find.
Yeah, we never did find that room, did we?
I think I figured out where it was, but then I heard from everybody it was really crappy and wasn't really worth it, so I just said to heck with it.
Even till this day, whenever I'm watching Angus, that's like, is that Angus? I'm like, yeah. Oh, he's so cute.
The thing that I find most funny.
Stop it.
The thing I find most funny is I had visions of him being like about our height, and here Chris is out like this 5'5" guy with an Australian accent, and I'm like, what? You're smaller than I thought, but you're awesome.
Thank you very much, Joel, for joining. I sure appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.
Thanks again, Joel. Really appreciate the donation. You didn't have to, but that means a lot.
I think that means you'll get your first YouTube check.
I think it will. Yeah, because I think I was about $67 the last time I checked. So this will push me over the $100 mark. So it'll finally pay me out.
For how many years now?
Like 4 or 5 years. I'm not kidding.
I know.
For everybody who thinks you can make a lot of money, reality is it's taken me about 4 years and about 2 years of doing the show regularly to get not even $70.
Yeah. I know
it's from the whole ad crisis and things like that. And, you know, it just, the reality is ads do not pay. I mean, they do something. So when you get bigger, they definitely help. But when you're small, it's like they add up over time, but it's not a whole lot.
That's exactly right. It's one of those things that it just slowly grows. And it's not something that a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to get a YouTube channel. I'm going to make all this money. It just does not work like that. It's like when I first started this, that says, so are you going to make money at it? I said, I'm going to be honest with you. Probably not. I said, more than likely, if I get anything at all, I won't see anything for probably 2 or 3 years. And I said, and even at that, it's going to be minimal. And I was very, very surprised that I have received what I have received, because I honestly didn't expect a check for the first couple of years. And I've seen a couple checks now. I mean, nothing major, but it was enough where it's like, okay, now I can pay for filament.
in my case, you know, I'll be perfectly honest, things like materials, and especially for machining stuff, that can get extremely expensive extremely quickly. I can't thank, you know, like the various companies that have been gracious enough like to sell me scrap materials for a very fair price. You know, I've got like upcoming, probably as part of the 1K giveaway and maybe even part of the 5K as well, want to make up a custom titanium coin out of, I think it's like 2 or 2.5 inch diameter grade 5 titanium stock that I got at a really, 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 really fair price, because it was an end of the rod remnant from Tiger's Metal Titanium down in Santa Fe Springs. I mean, they also hooked me up for the titanium Firefly that I did for my friend as a graduation gift, and I can't You know, something like that. They gave it to me for a very fair price compared to what retail would have been. So it's, you know, it's helpful to have things like that, but still it's like a $50-$60 chunk of titanium that's like about this long when it started out. You know, it's not cheap, and then you need special tooling to cut titanium. You know, there's a lot of hidden costs that go into doing stuff, tooling, camera equipment. I mean, I'm thankful that I've been able to pull off doing videos for over 2 years now using GoPros and point and shoot cameras.
Right.
So that's definitely a help. But even then, it still adds up. You know, you need a decent computer, you need storage, you need better internet, you need microphones. There's a lot of hidden costs that people don't realize when you really want to start doing good quality videos. So I don't think everybody has kicking around in their closet a nice DSLR or a nice action camera, all the cables, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. The live stream I did, it cost, because you're talking just for the camera alone was what, 70 or 75 bucks, I think, for the Logitech Wi-Fi camera. And then, of course, like you said, you have your microphones. In my case, I started out with just it was just a lav mic. I don't see it here right at the moment, but I had a long cord to it, so I was able to use that. And then, of course, as you go on, then you slowly get a Tascam or what's that other one? The most
Zoom.
famous one? Zoom.
I think it is.
Get that, and then you get little lav mics, or you end up, in my case, Wish.com. That's been the thing that that helped me out a lot.
Jimmy is like addicted to Wish.com, I swear.
I'm a Wish.com whore.
But it's like, to give you guys an idea of what I film with, I don't have the cable on here because there's a cable that runs from here to the monitor. But this is literally what I film all my videos with. It's my GoPro rig and a $5 lav mic from eBay, and that's it. But, you know, at the same time, I got to thank my dad, who was nice enough to loan me his really nice Smith Victor filming lights, of which I'm using the small one right now to, excuse me, illuminate me for the stream. If I were to buy those things new, they would have probably easily set me back $100+ each, you know.
Oh, by the way, speaking of me being a whore, I got a box today.
Dude, you got to open that thing.
I need to do a video on it, though. Actually, what I'm going to do is probably do a live build.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It was one of two things in this package, and I got to film by the size of it. It's the other. It's not the one I was hoping for a couple months now. I think this one is the newest one.
Wellbot is saying box with a bunch of explanation. Oh, geez, dude, you have now released the curse of what is in the box.
I think it's a Zone Star.
Oh.
Dual extruder.
Oh,
I sold my soul.
We're gonna have to have a talk, okay? We're gonna have an off-camera talk when I come down in a couple of days. You know.
Let's just say I might have a GearBest affiliate link in that video whenever I do that one.
Dude, did the Hot Tip channel like talk you into that or something? Do I need to go like tell them to stop influencing you?
The Hot Tip is my hero. The Hot Tip is my hero.
Okay, for those who don't know, the Hot Tip is a parody account, which is absolutely hilarious. The main running joke is Bitcoin and GearBest affiliate links. So anytime there's anything related to either of the two, we just jokingly tag the Hot Tip in there, and it goes from there. It's funny.
It is. It's really funny.
And now everybody's screaming at you in the chat to open it.
Open the box. Should I?
Dude, you walked yourself into this problem. It's up to you how you're going to deal with it, but I think the crowds are screaming for you to open it. But the decision is yours.
Oh, let's see. I don't have an... Wait, I got a knife. Hang on.
Chris is saying is it is the same as the Zone Star that he reviewed.
I don't know, to be honest with you.
And for those who
Probably
are wondering,
is.
I've locked the camera on Jimmy right now, so that way you guys can see all the goodness. Oh, dude, Curtis just threw $20 for you to open it.
What's that?
Curtis just threw $20 at you at us to open it.
Breakfast at Denny's.
Okay, everybody. He's opening the box. Calm down. Calm down. Okay.
It's a 30-second delay. It takes a moment for them to realize I pulled out a knife.
Yeah, I know. I'm just having too much fun talking to Dead Space right now. And my mom's watching it going, wow, is this the madness that goes on?
Yep, it's his own star. I can tell because it says Zone Star.
No way, really?
Okay, so it's going to be aluminum extrusion. Cool. Ooh, this actually looks very pretty. Honestly, this is all I've seen. It's just parts. That's all it is.
Jimmy's already lusting over all the parts in the box going, ooh, nice looking parts. Nice.
But the question is, do I assemble this one first, or do I fulfill my obligation and get that TiVo assembled first?
I say do the TiVo first, but if you can do the TiVo, I would love to be there to bring along my 12-inch calipers and measure things just out of my own curiosity.
Chris, lucky 13, you realize you just tossed $20 at Calvin? Hey, that's all good.
Dude, yes, Jeff, we are totally down for a live stream the last day here.
Yes, that's what we want to do, a live stream with you.
We have to do a live stream with you.
So do you want me to bring my Logitech camera with me for doing the live stream?
Because I was going to bring my laptop, but the camera in it might not be the best.
Yeah, the Logitech, I think, is probably a little bit clearer camera. So if you want to, I'll just bring it with me.
I just bring it with you.
Okay.
And now I'll unlock you. I did that so in case I started talking, I wasn't going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, so we could all witness the amazingness that was inside Jimmy's box.
Yeah, I'm really debating about maybe doing a live stream on New Year's Day and build one of these. I don't know yet. I'll have to see how I feel after driving back from Vegas.
Why do I have visions of you walking out on camera for 5 minutes going, okay, I'm dead tired. I'm going to take a nap in the corner and Calvin's going to build half of this for me. Good luck!
Now we send money to Jimmy so Calvin shaves his head.
This will turn into the bidding war the other week. 3.14, 3.15, 3.16, 3.17. Oh, $20.
Don't worry, it's coming.
Next thing we know, Jimmy's gonna have like one of those audio, like autonomous sensory motor response videos where he's just gonna take the shavers over the microphone for like an hour, just making like shaver noises.
You mean like this? Ooh.
I do have to ask though, because one of my friends is actually interested in doing those kinds of videos and was actually looking at a Tascam. Just out of curiosity, how good is it, like the stock microphones in like a low to no noise environment?
I have never really tried it. When I did my unboxing video and the first use of it, I did it with just a normal microphone on it. But I have honestly never used it that way. I've always just used it with a like I have this one right here. This is my favorite little lav mic right here. And this is the one I use with it most of the time. When I'm not using that microphone, I'm using this microphone with it.
Right.
And it's got phantom powers to it, so it makes it really easy to use it.
I mean, whatever works. I was just curious because part of me is actually also debating maybe in 2018 looking into buying one of those, something like the Tascam, so that way I can have the audio recorder on me so I don't have to be on camera going, oh, look, I ran out of mic cable and I'm pulling my camera over. You know, I don't have to deal with that.
Honestly, it's worth it because that way you also have a backup audio source as well. That way, just in case you forget something, you've got that extra little bit of insurance.
That is a good point because I know that you ran into the issue at Travis's of the camera, your cell phone dying. So at least you had the audio, which was totally cool. But that is a good.
What happened with that? My cell phone, for some reason, I don't know if it died or if it was just that it quit filming, but it just didn't record any of it. And to this time, I still don't understand what exactly happened with it, but that wasn't the first time it did it. But that's the reason why I went ahead and when Beth found out what had happened, she's like, you know what? It's time for you to get a real camera. So that's when I got the Canon. And then, of course, PJ sent the other little lens with it. Well, I say a little lens. That thing's huge. I mean, compared to this, it's a huge difference. But I love this camera. My very first started doing videos, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to use cell phones. That's all I need. Then I started using this. It's like, I don't know how I got by using cell phones as long as I did.
When I first started out, I was using, I believe, a Canon PowerShot S5IS. And the problem with it was one of those cameras where you could record video.
Yeah.
But the problem with it was it would constantly want to autofocus. And then the problem is the autofocus would make a lot of noise. It'd be like, in the audio. I think if you look back at my really old videos, that's what I started filming with. And I got so fed up with it. The video quality compared to even my old Hero 2 GoPro, which is what I then started to film with, was so bad. I just quit using that, started using my Hero 2. Then after a while, I'm like, well, I want to get something better. So I got the Hero 3 Plus Black, like well after they came out with the Hero 4. So the price dropped dramatically. Used that for a long time. And then now I'm kind of like, well, it'd be nice to get another camera, but then at the same time, can't really afford anything like a giant purchase like that. So I'm kind of like, well, I'm just going to hold off and continue to use what I'm using because it's working. And then maybe, you know, save up for something nicer because ideally I would love a DSLR, but at the same time, do I really want the weight, the expense, the risk, all that stuff? You know, it's hard because I'm so used to working with the GoPro.
Joe's saying, Jimmy, if you have a TiVo, get yourself the set of 8 diodes, 8 diode TL smoothers. AliExpress, $15. That's a great idea. I'll do that. Because I'm kind of looking forward to just seeing this exactly what the TiVo can do.
I am too. I mean, honestly, like I've said, I'm just curious if the claims that people have made about it being really good or not so great hold true with the version that you received through 3D Printing Professor. I'm not here to make any judgments about the machine in terms of buy it or not. I'm just curious, what is the overall experience with the one that you received?
I'm going to tell you a little secret. I have a theory. They're as good as the person who puts them together. I honestly believe that. As I felt the same way whenever I got the Geeetech Aluminum i3. My feeling about it when I got it was I just had this gut feeling that if you take it and you worked with it, that you can make it as good as any other printer. And honestly, it's done a pretty good job. I mean, yeah, it's got, you know, because of the way it's set up, there are some shortcomings because, of course, the board on it's the cheaper board and all that. But the thing is, which I still need to film that video. I need to do it. I've got a GT, was it 2560 or whatever that other board is? I've got one of those up here to upgrade that printer. I need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say is my MakerBot Thingomatic, this print I did on it, it's not perfect. It's an NGen metallic silver, but it did it actually fine considering the build bed rocks a whole lot and, you know, that sort of thing. But the one thing I will say, and this is partly playing off what Chris just says, he would disagree with you on that. Even the best builder can't build the kit with broken or missing parts. I think that's true. That is definitely a problem. But at the same time, the one thing I will say is you could give 5 people the same kit and everybody might come up with something different. And when I say the same kit, I mean it has all the components, you know, things are in there. But I do think it's partly a case of if all the components are there, it's partly the user behind it. How much do they know about building something that plays a role in the end product's experience?
Yeah.
It's like owning a car and doing 0 maintenance on it and being like, well, the car blew up eventually, so I don't know what happened. You know, it's like, well, you did absolutely 0 maintenance on the thing, so that's why it died. You know, it's not like you got a lemon of a car or it just was bad luck that something random broke and it KO'd your transmission or something. You know, there's random incidents like that, but I do think to an extent, both of you guys are right in your own regard. I'll put it that way. Jimmy is totally correct that at the end of the day, it is up to the builder to build the machine and tune it to the best of their abilities. But at the same time, if you are given something that is completely missing components or the components show up defective, that is another issue. So it's a two-way street. It's partly the quality of the product you receive, and it's partly the quality of the person who builds it that all plays a role in the end final result.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is it is a little bit frustrating when there's larger companies that are well established and people do have a lot of issues with the product, you know, just saying, you know, I'm not saying that it speaks for the company as a whole, for that, you know, for those people who do get it, who are high profile, who have a less than stellar experience because of things that were missing or things that were looked over, it, you know, it's not the greatest.
Yeah. And Joe is saying that here's why he doesn't believe that GearBest printers are cherry picked. GearBest is a reseller, so they have a warehouse with these machines and do not test them. That's a good point, because I could totally see where a manufacturer could cherry pick what they send compared to somebody who's a reseller. That makes a lot of sense. Plus, they don't really have any agenda that way either, from what I can understand.
It'd pretty much be like me having a warehouse full of printers and Jimmy's a YouTuber. All I do is I resell the printers. I just cruise into the warehouse and go, here's a box, and go do a video on it. You know, that's pretty much, yeah, that is a good point. I guess they're kind of like the Amazon or eBay of certain things in terms of, you know, they just hold the product until it's sold and then it gets shipped out. You know, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I've just tried to steer clear of all that stuff, partly because of space and partly just I don't want to go down that dark, deep hole of reviewing machines that are at best dodgy and at worst an actual safety hazard. I just don't feel like that's the direction I want to go with my channel. So
yeah,
you know, that's just my personal opinion on it. You know, everybody's different, but for me, I'm more of a projects focused channel than let's look at some machine that if we're lucky, it's not going to zap me on camera. You know.
Yeah, I personally am the type where if I do printers like this, I'd like to find the problem and try to fix it so that it's not a problem anymore, and then share that with people. That's just the way I like to do stuff.
No, and that's totally cool. I mean, it's actually a good thing there are people out there like you who want to find the problem and want to try and fix it, because that's how other people get their problem solved. You know, kind of like when we were at Maker Faire, we ran into Rick, and he's like, "Yeah, your brace idea worked great," you know, and you're all like,
Okay, so I'm seeing some of one of the comments saying your best is evil. Okay, now you can ask Calvin. I have took and really debated this for quite some time, haven't I?
a very long time. And like so many topics in the 3D printing community, I'm always like, when I say neutral on it, there are a lot of things where I feel like it's kind of like which flavor of ice cream is best: pistachio, vanilla, strawberry, or chocolate. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, they're all ice cream. Everybody has their favorite, and I'm not going to judge anybody because they like one flavor over another. You know what? That's cool. It's all ice cream at the end of the day. Everybody has different tastes. So when it comes to a lot of stuff out there, I'm very much like, you know what? If you like 1.75 over 3 or vice versa, cool. If you like deltas over Cartesians, cool. You know, that's kind of the way that I see it.
At the end of the day, the way I'm approaching this, GearBest is a reseller. They don't manufacture these printers. But if they're willing to allow me to take one and test it, review it and everything, why not go ahead and do it? Go ahead and post it as an affiliate link. If people want to buy from GearBest, they're more than welcome to. If they want to buy from somebody else, they're more than welcome to. But at the end of the day, it's the printer.
No, it's totally true. And I guess for me, where I draw the line, and I'm not naming any names, and I'm not trying to, you know, insinuate anything with any companies here. I'm just, you know, pretty much like, my attitude is the ethics behind a company or the ethics behind whatever it takes to pull off the video is something that's ultimately up to you. It's just if there's a lot of gray zone, questionable things that have to be done to pull it off, then I don't feel like it's maybe the best thing. That said, though, I do feel like if people are being fair and objective with the review and going, look, if you like it, you can buy it. You can use my link if you want. If you don't want to buy it, that's cool. This is my opinions on it. This is what I feel it's best for. That I'm 100% for. It's just I feel like sometimes I feel like I get a little too cynical because I've seen one too many channels. It's just like, this printer's the best. This printer's the best. This printer's the best. And you're like, no, sorry, I'm not even going to watch the video. It's not even worth my time. You know, you're just like, I'm sorry, but that, you know, kind of like when we were talking multi-purpose machines, and I found some videos that were questionable at best of people showing it in action, and it was clearly failing at doing things. And I'm just like, nope, okay, either to your credit, you don't understand that that's not normal, or you chose to overlook it. You included the footage of it, but you chose to overlook it in your analysis of it. It's a bit, you know, iffy at best, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And Joe just said he agrees with me, which is why he wouldn't review the Flying Bear after what they did to Angus. Yeah. When companies when incidents like that happen, you know, that's the thing. But yeah, I feel like if people can, you know, give a fair and honest review at the end of the day, and there's no weird limbo-y, you know, junk that you have to go through, or the company gets a lot of stuff wrong or things like that, that's when I'm like, okay, look, not cool. I wouldn't even venture to consider doing a video about their product just because of the sketchy at best history of the company. Just saying. Okay,
so what? Forgive me because apparently I've really missed out on something. What is the Flying Bear?
It is I assume, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I assume, because I think I saw one that was partly assembled over at Dustin's when I did the stream over at his place a long time ago. I think, if I recall, it's like a large format Cartesian printer that uses an aluminum extrusion frame. I'm assuming on that one. I believe it's a large format printer.
Oh, okay. So what happened with Angus?
I don't know all the details on it, but I guess when he put the review out there, this is just based off what I've heard. The company came out with a statement saying that, well, this does not truly reflect our product. His just happened to be a bad one, although a lot of other people in the community have allegedly had less than stellar experiences with the product as well. So, you know, leave it up to your own discretion. But the fact that the company um, put into the description that supposedly his review was not truly reflective of their products, you know, it's up to interpretation on that one, but it definitely did not look the best on the company's end. Kind of like they were trying to cover themselves for something that you kind of get where I'm going without saying it.
Yeah. Kind of like another company that we've heard of recently where they're like, oh, well, that was just a previous version.
Yeah, it's like
this is way better now.
You know, if for some reason a total lemon got sent and
let's fess up, it was a lemon. Sorry.
Yeah, be like, okay, look, we're sorry. This was a once in a whatever incident. Here, we'll give you a shipping label to send it back, and we'll send you a new one to exchange it. Kind of like what you do with a customer. That is okay. You can at least be honest and be like, look, initial one that I received had some problems, so I contacted the company. We did an exchange. I got another one in. Boom. Because things do go wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Things get broken, things get lost, things get forgotten. But it's how the company deals with it that speaks a lot. If the company just says, oh, that's just, you know, one person being grumpy, that's not how you're supposed to deal with it, in my opinion. Or at least supposed to, if the person reaches out to you with a problem, you should at least try and do your best to resolve the problem before it goes to the next level.
No, wait, you're reading this from Joe?
Yeah.
Please tell me it wasn't that one that actually caused that.
That would be super tragic.
That would be really bad.
So Wellbot said about 2 months before Angus did the review, they had really slipped in their support. Tons of people on the Facebook page were complaining about a month-long delays, etc. Yeah. When a company starts having issues like that, I think that's definitely time to go, okay, something's not right here. I think it's time to abandon ship and paddle off while I still got a life raft.
Yeah.
You know, because I understand, you know, things happen, but yeah, like Heather just said, customer service is number one. Without customers, companies wouldn't have a company. Bingo. You know, you look at companies that I've dealt with, like Protopasta, BuildTac, Matter Hackers, their customer service is like insane, especially when you consider something like Protopasta, which is a very tiny company. I think it's just like 3 guys running it still, to the best of my knowledge. Maybe they have a couple of other people, but it's not like they've got, you know, 50 employees in the back, you know, working customer service. You know, when it's a very tiny company, or even Nerbs.com, which I do a lot of business through, that's, to the best of my knowledge, one guy doing it. And he still manages to have crazy good customer support considering it's one guy. You know, it's like,
as bad as this sounds, thank goodness he said no, the guy had faulty plugs in his home causing a short.
Oh, thank
That's
God.
more of a relief, because that'd be like the equivalent of sending a Molotov cocktail to somebody.
No joke.
That's what that was.
No joke. That that is totally true.
He lost everything though. That's bad.
That is really sad.
That's tragic.
It is, but at least in one sense, I guess it's comforting that it wasn't the printer, because at least you can be like, well, you know, faulty wiring happens. I mean, thousands of house fires a year start because of faulty wiring.
Yeah,
overloaded or something like that. So it's, at least if anything, it's like, okay, well, you know what? It was something out of my control. It wasn't the machine itself that went. And then, you know,
Yeah.
that thing happened. But, you know. So Wellbot was saying they blamed the Chinese national holiday, but they were only on holiday for 2 weeks. This went on way longer. Yeah. I've learned from people who live in China that the national holiday is a big deal, which is crazy that they take 2 weeks off work. But you know what? If that's, you know, what they do, that's totally cool.
They do. Honestly, they take 2 weeks off, and that's from what I understand, that's a really big deal over there.
Oh, I'll bet. You know, 2 weeks off work. If you did that here, people would be staring at you like, okay, well, if it's on vacation time, I guess that's cool. Is Jimmy's like begging and pleading his boss to get 2 days off to go to Vegas and back.
Do you know what they get in China?
Dear boss, please let me go to Vegas. I promise it's not what you think it is for. Please.
You've seen the guy I talk with. He's not going to get drunk.
No, really, we were seriously going to a friend's house to film an end-of-the-year 3D printing thing. I can't tell you how many people keep thinking that when I'm going to Vegas, it's for something else. I'm like, no, we're just going to some, you know, cool white dude's house out in the suburbs. We're going to film some 3D printing videos and maybe, you know, C-Dub's cribs, and it's going to be awesome.
Is Jeff still in here? So
I don't know. Heather's still here.
So Calvin wants to do C-Dub's cribs. It's kind of like MTV's cribs, except C-Dub.
So pretty much C-Dub goes to people's houses or people's workshops and does like tour videos of them, you know, pointing out all the cool stuff in there. You know, it'd be fun. So when I go over to Jimmy's house, I can totally roast him on, you know, his old Sears photo thing in the back that he's using, and you know, the roof might be caving in a little bit, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. I hate to say it, but I'm waiting for that one day when something happens and that roof like starts to cave in, and it's like and, like falls on the desk, and you're like, oops, we have to call the stream here, guys. Sorry about that.
I should have patched that leak.
Or there's like a drip that just starts like randomly coming down as you're doing a video or something. Oh man.
No, Calvin, we're gonna get you so sloshed and buzzed. Your hair. That's the real plan.
And in case my mom is still watching this downstairs, no, really, that is not the plan. It is all a joke.
We're gonna be like, shots.
I'm gonna be like, so Mr. Carroll Science, welcome to the show. Nice to have you on here. Asked, what are your thoughts on printers where upgrading is necessary to keep it safe? Like an ANET A8 where upgrading the wiring is necessary so it won't cause fires. That's a good question. My thoughts on it are, if you know what you're doing with the wiring, it's okay. If you don't know what you're doing with the wiring, don't even buy it. And that's honestly my thing, because you could very easily make a bad situation worse if you don't know what you're doing with the wiring. If you know what you're doing and you're willing to take the risks and you're willing to keep eyeballs on it, yeah, I think it's fine.
I honestly think that there are situations where a lot of people who want to get into 3D printing can't afford to get the printer they want as far as bill volume unless they get something that needs to be upgraded. And if you're technically minded and everything, I don't see a problem with it. But at the same time, buying a kit printer and not realizing what you're getting into, that can be a problem. Yeah.
At my old job that I had, I was like a 3D printer tech guy, if you know what I mean. And I had to redo the wiring on some kit printers that they had. And let's just say that the previous person who did it didn't understand what the heck they were doing, because I was looking at this going, the ground plug wire was ran to the hot side input on the power supply, like everything was totally reversed. Nothing was color coded correctly on the plug. I actually spent about 10 minutes on Google looking up the proper wiring connections, the proper coloring for everything, because it was a 3-prong grounded plug to make sure that everything was wired correctly. But there's a very good example of somebody who did not know what they were doing, creating a potentially serious safety hazard, not so much from a fire standpoint, but just from an electrical shock standpoint. If the ground plug is not connected to the ground, that's very dangerous right there. You know, what's supposed to be electrically grounding is live. That's not good at all. So there's an example of somebody who did not know what they were doing, creating a serious safety hazard. But yeah, I mean, if you understand what you're doing, it's fine. I would say yes, if you know what you're doing and you're willing to, you know, make a couple of upgrades, upgrade the firmware, then yes, it's actually a very good deal for a printer. But if you're not comfortable doing those things, or you don't know somebody who knows how to do those things, I would steer clear of it, personally speaking.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Eddie. That's going to go toward Calvin's haircut fund.
How expensive is this haircut fund now? Like $60 or something?
Hey, you can get a good haircut for that much. Or
you are having way too much fun with that shaver, dude.
I told Beth, I said, where's that shaver at? I know we got one around there somewhere. So she said, oh, here it is. So Young would be bothering Calvin the whole time. I'm just going to go.
So the handy outdoor nerd said he used a MOSFET on his A8 and has not had to upgrade the wiring and has not had any problems with it bursting into flames. Yeah, there's another good example of it. If you know how to wire something like that in, it's good to go. It's just, I know from electronics knowledge that MOSFETs are very finicky and pretty static sensitive. So you definitely, if you're going to install something like that, you need to understand what you're doing, or you will blow it up and potentially the board very quickly. But yeah, if you're willing to do the work, you know, it's worth it. But, you know, at the end of the day, you have to make the decision of, do you feel comfortable doing this, and are you willing to take the risks or not? You know, it's like in the case of my printers, much as I love my Thingomatic, I still don't trust the thing to run completely autonomously. I mean, I'll leave the room for like a minute or two to use the restroom or get some food or something, but I won't leave it running for hours on end by itself, just because I don't trust the electronics inside should something go wrong. The Ultimaker, on the other hand, I trust that thing. It'll shut itself down if it feels like the hot end is taking too much power to heat up. I trust that thing a lot more. So it's, you know, I still don't like leave the thing running unattended for 30 hours straight, but you know, there's things to keep in mind. But at the end of the day, you know, I know people who will just leave their printers running nonstop without even being home, and there's some people who have to be in the room. And you know what? Everybody has their own level of what they feel safety is, but you know, if you're concerned, put it in the middle of the garage on a concrete floor with nothing flammable around it and let it run for a while. If nothing happens, it's probably going to be okay.
The most dangerous thing about 3D printers are removing the parts from the bed. That's true.
And that is why, until I got a BuildTak flex plate, I had a BuildTak spatula, because that thing is way safer than a putty knife or an X-Acto knife.
Curtis says, Jimmy, we need to talk. I'm getting too much into the Clippers, I think.
Yeah, I think it's getting to your head a little bit. You're pun intended. The Mr. Carroll Science was saying that was exactly his question. You have to add MOSFETs and fixed wiring to the bed to make it work properly. These printers are purchased by those who are total noobs that cannot afford a nicer printer. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, if you're somebody who's, say, an electrician, or you have a lot of experience with electronics and stuff, then it's probably very simple for you to do that. You're probably like, oh yeah, I can do this pretty easily. I know what I'm doing. But at the same time, like I've said, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, I would not recommend doing it, just because there are way too many ways you can either blow things up electronically or just make a bad situation worse. So I think at the end of the day, when it comes to those machines, I would personally steer clear of them. and save up your money or look for something that's a little bit smaller but a lot more reliable, that's what I would do. You know, that's me.
Chris said he just charged the battery for the 18-volt weed whacker.
Can I borrow that for the backyard?
No, he's got other plans for that one.
I don't like those plans. Those are not cool. I've got a CNC machine downstairs with a theoretically about 1/4 horsepower spindle on it. About 5,000 RPM max. So Mr. Carroll Science says he prints on glass, puts it in the freezer for a minute, and it pops off the glossy finish. Yeah, that works good. Just non-sarcastically when I say this, don't drop the glass. That'd be very bad.
Well, my friend, you want to go ahead and call it?
I think we should. It's getting late. I've got a crazy day tomorrow.
So this is our last stream of the year.
Or at least last stream that we're going to be doing here. Because let me see, when is
Oh yeah, that's right. We'll have one more stream.
We're gonna have one more stream on the 31st. Or over at
this whole title for this stream was false advertising on Calvin's part.
Sorry, honestly, I didn't know if we were gonna have time over at Jeff's or not to do a live stream, so I figured this was gonna be the last official Calvin and Jimmy stream of the series. When we do it with Jeff, it's gonna be more like the hey party over at Jeff's house. You know,
shots.
Shut up, Jimmy. My mom is watching the show.
I'm getting you in trouble.
My mom's going to come in right after the stream shot. Yeah, what's Jimmy's phone number?
You can tell her the secret. I don't drink.
I know.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. You have a good one. Take care. Have a happy new year. Have a safe new year. And we will catch you on Tuesday next week.
Sounds good. And then probably sometime Sunday when we determine we're going to do the live stream, if that happens, either Saturday or Sunday. But definitely keep your eyes out on my channel, because when I can, on the 30th, early in the morning is when I'm driving down to Jimmy's house to pile in his car to zip on off to Vegas. So when I can, I'm going to be not only filming footage that I'm going to edit into a vlog video, but I'm also maybe going to be live streaming if anything exciting happens. So keep, depending upon if I can do it from my phone or not. So keep your eyes out on my YouTube channel in case that happens. I'll also try and tweet out a little bit before, but it might be kind of like, hey, look, a little live stream. Okay, we're done. So I'm going to have to figure out where I'm going to stream it on, either Twitter or YouTube.
Yeah, definitely follow us both on Twitter. Follow us on Periscope, because that would be probably one of the easiest ways of doing it, is to Periscope it.
I think it would be easiest just to Periscope it, because as it is, it's going to be like, oh, look, we're cruising down the middle of nowhere, and Jimmy's driving the car, and somebody's sleeping in the back, and I'm going to go again. Bye! You know, it's going to be little stuff like that, but to give you guys little, like, you know, updates throughout the trip, you know.
Oh, look, there's the world's largest thermometer. And it's actually below 100 degrees this time.
Okay, now something like that would be cool to get drone shots around if possible, just for the heck of it, as long as it's not National Park Service land, or there's like obvious no drone signs, or there's too many people around, or something like that, you know.
You mean you don't want to go to Yosemite and fly your drone down through the middle of a national park?
You mean I don't want my drone confiscated by the National Park Service and we end up in court with them? No, thank you.
And you end up becoming Bubba's, you know.
Sally? No thanks.
You got a pretty mouth, boy.
I don't need to go in there with Yosemite pot growers. I'm good.
Okay, guys, you have a good one. Take care, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.